Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. All right, so on the other side of the world, or continent, or coast, or country, we have another circus going on, and that is the Diddy circus. Okay, so they are going back and forth at this point, and when I say they, it is the defense counsel for Diddy versus the government or the USA, however you want to put it. Um, in reading this docket, Diddy is trying his best to get whatever it is that he wants. He's so used to getting what he wants. If you have money, then you're able to buy whatever you want, get whatever you want, do whatever you want. And he does not have that luxury because he is incarcerated. So he's not used to this, but his attorneys are pretty much working overtime. They're coming in at all directions trying to figure out how can we get this man out, or what can we do to accommodate him to make him feel like he is still somebody. Let's hop right on it into this. Um so what we see on the screen is the let's see. Okay. So this is a letter from the defense counsel to the court in regards to I believe it was a motion that was filed in regards to the leaking of the video, the Cassie video. Because remember, the defense counsel blamed the government or somebody within, on their side, pretty much leaking that video to the public or to CNN, and then, CNN broadcasting it. All right, so it reads in this November 1st, 2004 letter to the court, the government noted that it did not submit an affidavit attesting that the prosecution team, and they give an example, the government's attorneys and agents involved in the grand jury process, was not the source of the information articles discussed by the defendant, but stated that it was prepared to submit such an affidavit at the court's request. So normally what they're saying is, if they are going to say that they didn't do it, you have a declaration or an affidavit just saying that you had no parts of leaking this information out. So that's what they're requesting. So the judge did order that the government has to submit that affidavit by today, which is Wednesday. Okay, so this was filed on Monday, and they gave the court gave the government until today to actually file that. Okay. Um, Now I am going to go to another letter. Well, you know what? Let's just go to the response to that. All right. So we're gonna hop to the actual affidavit that was filed to them. So as you can see, it says the declaration of Jane Kim. So the declaration reads, I am the Deputy Chief of the Criminal Division in the Office of Damian Williams, United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. I'm not a member of the prosecution team responsible for the investigation that led to the above referenced case. I submit this declaration in response to the court's order of December 2nd, 2024, and in support of the government's opposition to defendant's motion of October 9th, 2024. I understand that Assistant United States Attorneys Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Christy Slavic, Madison Smyer, Mitzi Steiner, and Maureen Kami are responsible for the investigation and prosecution of defendant Combs. I have learned that two special agents and one task force officer with the United States Department of Homeland Security Homeland Security investigations, and one special agent and two task force officers with the United States Attorney Office for the Southern District of New York are responsible for the investigation. On December 2nd and December 3rd, 2024, I separately spoke to each of the six AUSAs assigned to the investigation, each of the two HSI special agents assigned to the investigation, the HSI task force officer assigned to the investigation, the Southern District of New York special agent assigned to the investigation, and each of the two SDNY task force officers assigned to the investigation. So pretty much everybody that we named and their agents and employees, this person spoke with. All right. She spoke with them about the allegations of the disclosures contained in the defendant's submission to the court. They each affirmed that they have not discussed information they learned during the course of the investigation to any members of the press. And then they sign that and they submit that. So, who leaked out the information to the press? We don't know because it just wasn't about the video for CNN. It was about the information that everybody was posting. And I have to go back and I have to look to see exactly which motion that was because they actually had links to like CNN, Newsweek, MSNBC, all of those different news sources had something, and it's like they were getting information from the inside. So she put, Jane Kim submitted a declaration saying that she spoke with everybody that's on the investigation team, and everybody said that they didn't do it. Okay. All right. Now, on to the other part. So, in the midst of that, on today, Diddy has, and I say Diddy, I feel like it's Diddy only because he's the one who's making the demands and he's the one that's wanting to get this freaking laptop. What is it with these damn laptops? All right. So, this is once again from the defense counsel on behalf of Sean Combs, and it reads: We write on behalf of Mr. Combs to request that the court direct the MDC to provide Mr. Combs with a laptop prepared for him by the government and allow him to use his laptop on his on his unit consistent with the way other inmates on his unit are permitted to use their laptops. Oh, so other people have their laptops. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know how to feel about this because if this man is not following simple directions in regards to just using telephone privileges, why do y'all want to give this man a laptop? Now, I would understand if, the attorney met with him and, they're using that time to go over the case and he can use it during that time. But me personally, he don't need no laptop. I don't believe Sean Combs needs a laptop because it's going to be even worse. All right, the letter also reads that 2 months after he was charged and detained on November 25th, 2024, the government provided the MDC with a laptop that Mr. Combs can use to review discovery, take notes related to his case, and otherwise assist in his defense. In the 9 days since then, Mr. Combs has still not been provided with the laptop despite numerous inquiries by defense counsel. Finally, this morning, the government informed defense counsel that after consultation with the MDC counsel, Mr. Combs has two options related to his laptop. One, he will only be provided with the laptop in the unit's video telephone conference room during select times when legal staff is available and when that room is not otherwise being used during other inmates' legal calls. That is awesome. That's awesome. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to give him a laptop, he needs to be watched. Or two, here's the second option. He will only be provided with the laptop in the legal visiting room between the hours of 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., but not both. So it's either or. I think these are great options to give him. These restrictions are untenable and, from what we understand, not required for any other inmate on Mr. Combs' unit. They significantly limit the time available for Mr. Combs to use the laptop and force Mr. Combs to choose between using the laptop and meeting with his attorneys, who often meet Mr. Combs over video teleconference. There is no there is also no justification for the restrictions. To be clear, that discovery provided on Mr. Combs' laptop does not contain any evidence designated as attorney's possession only, and therefore does not contain anything that could potentially risk the safety or privacy of alleged victims or witnesses. While the terms of the protective order disallow Mr. Combs from disclosing the discovery to third parties, there is no reason to believe that Mr. Combs is going to show it to other inmates, such that a departure from normal MDC practice is warranted. Thus, there is no conceivable reason why such restrictions should be placed on Mr. Combs, nor could any reason outweigh his significant interest in reviewing discovery and assisting and preparing his defense. Moreover, given the government's efforts to surreptitiously monitor and record his handwritten legal notes, Mr. Combs needs a laptop to take legal notes free from the government surveillance is heightened. Hmm. In addition, last night, defense counsel learned that the MDC was also has been providing the prosecution team, and not via the filter team, copies of MDC attorneys' visitation forms, who Mr. Combs meets with in connection with his legal defense, including potential experts and investigators, is potentially privileged. Even if it's not privileged, this level of surveillance offends due process and hampers his ability to prepare his defense. So, okay, so everything is really supposed to go through the filter team. Um, but instead the facility is going straight to the prosecution team. And that's not how it's supposed to, because even in the order where the judge told them, the government, to destroy any copies of the handwritten pictures that were taken, they they said that the filter team is the only team that will be able to hold any copies of the handwritten notes. So it's very interesting that they are still not following um the normal procedures. So MDC needs to follow up with the prosecution, and the prosecution needs to say, hey, y'all need to go through the filter team first. Let's see, where did I leave off? All right, so the MDC has informed defense counsel that it produces such information whenever a defendant complains about inability to access his attorneys. Here, however, the defense has not taken issue with Mr. Combs' ability to meet with his attorneys in person at the MDC. Rather, Mr. Combs' inability to prepare for his defense stems from the restrictions the government has placed on his ability to receive and review discovery, and his inability to keep his privileged legal notes confidential. There is no conceivable reason why the government should know who and when Mr. Combs meet with in connection with his legal defense. Mm. Accordingly, we respectfully request that the court direct the MDC to provide Mr. Combs with a laptop that has been prepared and provided by the government, and to allow him to use it in his unit, and to cease sending the government copies of attorney visitation forms. The government has indicated that it intends to file a response, and I want to know what this response is going to be. So I'm kind of speechless, because I'm just like, I really don't know. I really don't know. So we see in a letter that the defense counsel is saying, yes, he needs a laptop, but we're offering, these conditions. Either he uses it in a visitation room where, there's a guard and so on and so forth, or, and, pretty much surveyed, and or he can use it in another room from 8 to 3:30, but no. So they're trying to say, "Hey, he needs this, but we're willing to work with you guys to ensure that he's not doing anything outside of what he's supposed to be doing on the laptop." Me personally, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Um and now, as far as the government receiving information from the MDC after the judge or the court has told them that it has to go through the filter team is beyond me. I was like, do people not follow directions? Do they not? So we already know the history of Diddy. He's not following the rules with the phone calls. He's not following the rules with not trying to contact people outside of, the family or his attorneys. And now they're fighting to give this man a laptop so that he can review discovery. I get it, because discovery can be very overwhelming. And based off of this particular case, I know that it's overwhelming. They said terabytes of information. So, it could be electronic information. Well, actually, electronic, because they're not going to go to the MDC with any, stacks of or boxes of papers for him to go through. But it is understandable. But I'm like, at the end of the day, if he truly needs to prepare and he truly needs to go through the discovery and he needs a device to do that, have it to where the laptop doesn't even connect to, well, they said he needs video conference. No, I think just have an attorney, an associate attorney, go down there and y'all meet face to face. That laptop would not have any type of conferencing um, software on it. It wouldn't even be able to connect to the internet or hook up to a hotspot. It would be a very, very basic computer where he's able to open a Word application. That's it. If he want to take notes, just give him Word. Just give him Word. Don't even give him access to what is that? The online Office 365 or Google Drive. Nope, he is going to have the basic Word. Not even Word. Get him the notepad. Y'all know the little notepad that you can use to pull up on the computer. Just give him that if he want to take notes. All he should be able to do is open a file, close a file, open Word, close Word, save it. That's it. No other capabilities. If they are really, really pushing for this man to have a laptop so he can go through discovery and prepare for his trial, get him the most basic laptop. Give it to him. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, y'all be blessed and I'm out. Bye.